Paul said to start.
Go ahead.
Okay, you want me to start with introductions again?
Whatever.
Or just start? We are just going to do introductions of everybody in the room, and then we'll start with the Grange members and the discussion of the Dudley Farm Days and the Apple Fest. So.
Noah Kurtamash.
Okay, no.
Linda Larkevich.
Paul Wheelock.
Jennifer Galligan.
Chris-Ann Kepke.
Deborah Easterbrook.
Paul Joseph.
Karen Gillen.
Dale Roman.
Okay. So do you want to start? Because I wasn't at the last meeting either.
So at the last, well, I missed the Grange meeting because I was away. So,
So give us the AgCom perspective, and then we can.
okay, it was my understanding that, that this commission wanted to, present farm days to the Dudley Grange so that we could all collaborate together and make farm days on the same day that we actually do our apple festival and make it a bigger community event. And so that was my understanding. I didn't know that it was going to happen while I was away with the Grange, so I'm not sure what was discussed there. I wasn't in attendance.
You guys want to pick that up?
Well, Victor came to our July meeting, and we did talk about it, and there was interest. So we were going to pursue it a little further tonight to get some more information and kind of see what your all vision, what it looks like.
Okay. Paul, do you want to?
Yeah, can you tell us what's the date that you picked for the Apple Festival?
October 5th.
Which is what date?
It's the first Saturday in October.
So the first Saturday in October is 2 days after our October meeting, which is good. And it'll be on the Grange property and on the Old Town Common?
Yeah.
Okay.
Generally used it, yeah.
And could you tell us what you have planned so far for activities?
I cannot, because we haven't had our planning meeting just yet, which is coming up within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So we'll have more information at that point.
Well, do you have an understanding of what the Dudley Farm Days hope to be?
Well, Victor talked about it a little bit, but I don't know, well, you weren't there, and Dale, I don't believe you were there. If you could sort of go over that.
Well, that was there that when Victor was talking about it, but
Oh, you were?
still not 100% sure.
Okay, yeah, if you wouldn't mind, just,
Yeah, well, we had discussed that here, actually, what Paul Joseph's vision is for this Dudley Farm Days. So really, it's been his idea, and we all agreed that it sounded like a good idea. I mean, it seems like mostly it's something you have a vision of, about bringing agriculture and the community back together.
Let's frame it, and certainly as a Grange, you ought to know this, or you do know it. Number one, the town of Dudley has 4,005 acres currently in agricultural protection. That may or may not include all of the farm acres that we currently have in town. Second, Dudley is a right-to-farm community. 3, the town unanimously supported, you did unanimously support at a town meeting, the portion of the Economic Development Committee's plan, 5-year plan, which called for an agricultural commission. These folks have stepped forward because one of the things that we want to do is we want the current residents to appreciate and to utilize the agricultural resources we have in town. Number 2, we want to support the existing agricultural, horticultural, apiary, whatever, programs and producers we currently have. And the idea is to incorporate anybody who produces a product, a consumable product, that exceeds what their immediate family can consume. And those are the people that we want to encourage to participate in Dudley Farm Days, whether it's the fromage cheese, or whether it's the CSA for beef, or Farmer Tim's CSA for vegetables. We want to become the shining agricultural community in certainly southern Worcester County and maybe beyond. So what we were hoping was that Dudley Farm Days, DAYZ, would be different from a farmer's market. But it would be a time for all of the people in Dudley who meet the category of producing more than what their family can consume to get together, to showcase what they have, and to sell what they have, and to provide educational opportunities for those who wish to get it. Part of that is, at our next meeting, September 5th, that John LaFleche, Superintendent of Bay Path, his Director of Continuing Education, and a third person, it might be the nightlife program, I'm not certain, that those three will be at our September 5th meeting to talk about how we can use them as a vehicle to begin to gather interest in future farmers, in the next generation and the generation after that. So those are our goals, and those are the things that we were hoping to begin to accomplish at Dudley Farm Days. I think, does that sum it up? And anybody, is there anything anybody can add to that? please?
I could probably add that, that we also want to try and really draw an interest to the younger people to start farming and maybe invest in farmland and
Yeah.
invest in their community in this way. So kind of give some,
One of the things we did with the
Stuff
Apple
like that.
Festival when we first started it, we had a pumpkin growing contest. We had pumpkin plants given to us in the beginning of the summer, started the Strawberry Festival. We gave the plants away for the kids to bring them home and grow pumpkins with them, bring the pumpkins in, and then we were going to have a contest, you know, the biggest or the best or whatever. And that went over relatively good. But since then, powers to be, it's whittled down. But most definitely, what you want them to do is have the joy of actually planting it and watching that seed grow, and then being able to take fruit off of it. I've been doing that since I was 6 years old, and I love doing it. I used to, before I got married, moved to where I am, I used to plant by myself an acre of garden. It had everything: corn, peas, squash, butternut squash, acorn squash, summer squash, zucchini, radish, everything. If I could fit it on that acre, it got planted. And it was a lot of work, but it was also a lot of fun. And that's what I would like to see. Not everybody's going to find it that way, but you're going to find few that will.
Did you do that, the Grange, do that again this year and give out seeds for pumpkins?
No, we don't,
No.
no.
Okay.
What we did is, in past, Strawberry Festival, it was the plant, not seeds, is we would purchase plants from a nursery nearby and give them away at the festival, with the hope they would return with a pumpkin, and then we'd have a contest and so forth. And it wasn't that successful. The first year we did it was great. We had a lot of entries, but then it kind of dwindled. We had a very hot summer one year, and I think a lot of the plants didn't survive, and it just, so we sort of kind of, changed it up a
We
little
look forward
bit.
to
Yeah.
purchasing pumpkins, and for the Apple Festival, they decorated them
Yeah,
What
right
about-
there.
yeah.
What about for the kids, like an apple pumpkin carving contest? And have some harvest things that would interest the kids.
mhm,
Oh, would be fantastic.
mhm.
Even a couple of things that we've talked about at the Grange, and like this, what's the name of this gonna be now?
Oh,
The whole
change of
thing.
it.
Um,
Where are we gonna change it to?
What?
The Apple Festival?
No,
the-
what Paul wants to do.
The name of it?
Farm
Oh,
days.
Dudley
Market.
Dudley
Farm
Farm
days.
Days.
Farm days,
Yeah.
okay.
DAYZ.
Farm days.
From-
Yeah, that would be great if you could do it for a weekend. Okay? Do it Friday to Saturday, or Saturday to Sunday, and as you said, carving pumpkins. Carving pumpkins look beautiful when you put them up on a shelf
Mhm.
and it's dark out. And they can see all the work that they've done. They can see, we can find some people who are experts at it, and they have to give them a hand and so forth.
Now, the Apple Festival is Saturday,
Yes,
Yes.
October 5th?
5th,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you want us to become part of it?
We're definitely, you know, Paul, you know, we've talked in the past about trying to get, you know, the Hill, you know, active, get all the entities on the Hill active, and yes, we would be interested.
Several years ago,
Partnering, yeah.
Ed Bazinet and I had a long conversation about bringing the Black Tavern and the Grange together on doing things like the Apple Festival and the Strawberry Festival. There were pros and cons, pros and cons for it and so forth, but apparently, you know, over a 2-year period we were talking about it, the idea died, and it never came to fruition.
Okay, well, guess what? The
Except
idea is
we're doing
alive.
it now. The Tavern.
Yeah.
And they help us out on the
The
Apple
Tavern,
Festival. And
it has the vendors across the street, we have the
Yeah.
vendors on our
Yes.
So
side.
it's sort of happened
We are
without-
So we are-
collaborating,
It
We-
really
yeah,
did
we do
well
it for the
last year.
Strawberry Festival as well as the Apple
Oh,
Festival.
definitely strawberry.
The,
Yeah.
the
Very
land
busy.
trust and participates as well as the tavern.
Yeah,
But-
so I think we're ready to,
Yeah, I
To
think
do
that
something now.
what we were talking about with Victor was the idea of a section where they would be set up, if this is what I recall accurately, a section that would be set up where the farmers would have their wares, so to speak, their products that would be for sale. Where the Apple Festival is more, we set up more for vendors, similar to the tavern. And we serve, you know, refreshments and whatever from the shack. So it sounded like it's a very doable kind of situation. As far as when you asked me earlier about the specific activities, I don't know just yet.
Right.
It's still in the planning stages. Generally comes together pretty quickly, but that's the format, would be vendors, you know, we encourage, you know,
vendors, food, a little bit of entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you say vendors, what do you mean for vendors?
vendors
Like-
who, like
Preferably
people
local-
who, you know,
local
want to sell
artisans and-
honey,
Yeah,
people who sell.
Locals?
yes,
Yes.
preferably,
Sometimes,
yes.
yeah, and people who, you know, do woodcraft. I mean, it's a mixture of stuff, of folks that come together.
Kinda
So-
like
I
a
think
country
the
store.
thing you want to do is ask the people that are agriculturally based in town to be there, because a lot of people don't know that this is what they do. Like the cheese lady,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, if she could, you know, spend an afternoon down there to just let people know that she's, like, how many people in town know she's even doing that? I don't think very many,
Not very many.
Yeah.
you know.
I can't speak for her, but I'll make sure she's there.
That's
Some
right.
good cheeses,
Well,
though.
that's right.
Yeah.
These
Right.
people, we need to promote
You know-
our local people.
You know, Dudley might not be her market, because
Right, it's high-end cheese.
it's high-end cheese and it's expensive, but
But
still,
it's really tasty.
you know,
Some of it.
We should know about it.
if the
Yeah,
people in
exactly.
town should
Right,
know about it,
right.
exactly.
You
Got Tim, you
get
got Tim the farmer there, you've got the cheese, who else? The meat, Kepke's
It's
meat.
around the corner, we're
Yeah.
all
Great.
in.
So if you could just, I don't know,
There's a lot.
there's a lot,
Right.
There's a lot.
and you need to get these people together for that one afternoon or whatever,
Yep.
and it may benefit them, and
There
it may
is
not
a-
make them a lot of money at that time, but at least people will know.
They're getting the word out.
They're getting the word out,
exposure,
the
right,
exposure.
right.
Right.
This is available.
Now, I
Right.
talked
In
to
town.
3 people today who are sympathetic and aware of the Ag Commission, and none of them knew what day or even what the Apple Festival was. So we've got to, I mean, I know you folks will get your flyers up everywhere, as you always do for the Strawberry Festival, but one of the things that I hope we will do and commit to is letting the Central Mass Farm Bureau know when next year's Apple Festival / Dudley Farm Days will be held.
So Central Mass Grown.
The Central Mass Farm Bureau, which is the one that puts out the calendar, and let MDAR, the Mass Department of Agricultural Resources, know, because you need to pick a date for the Apple Festival for next year.
It's always the
It's always
same.
the first Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But if we get it into those 2 publications, like you said, Paul, we won't have to advertise far away to bring in people besides press releases. Because MDAR and the Central Mass Farm Bureau, they advertise everywhere. And they're the ones that put out the really nice brochure that we saw that was given out by Lisa Berg, if you recall.
So there is no Central Mass Farm Bureau, though? There's Worcester County Farm Bureau.
That's it,
And then
that's
there's
it.
Central Mass Grown, which is the buy
That's it,
local.
Central Mass Grow.
For Central
They
Massachusetts.
did a nice job, they do a nice
I
job.
should have brought some, yeah. They're
So,
beautiful, the product guide.
we're gonna have to plan whether or not we're gonna do this for this year and next year, commit to it, so that we can start publicizing it and have actually have others publicize for it for us for free. All right, so if you want this group to do Dudley Farm Days, are there any parameters that you want them to be there under? You're not expecting them to give you a donation.
Well, it's how we are raising funds to, support our building and our organization, is that we charge each vendor for space,
What do you charge?
I think it's 25.
30.
30?
Geez, I thought it was 40.
Okay,
No,
and you don't
no.
want to do that with this group. It's certainly not in the first year, because they have no idea what they're gonna get for traffic and if they're even gonna make ends meet the first year. So once they've had a chance to do that, have a sense of what kind of income can be generated, then this group, the Agricultural Commission, can negotiate with the Grange and try to come up with something that'll encourage more producers in Dudley to set up on the town common.
Or maybe we could
We
even.
could ask for donations.
Yeah,
And
because
then
some
if
of
they do
us.
well,
Certainly
then
can
they
do
can
that.
donate.
Some of
If they
us
don't,
are
then-
set up for like markets
Yeah.
already. The Kuways do markets all the
That's
time.
right.
We do the Sturbridge Farmers Market, so we have all the stuff we need and can put it up, and we could certainly.
Back when I was running the Strawberry Festival and the Apple Festival, my idea on that was, I don't want to charge vendors a flat rate, because they don't know if they're gonna even sell enough to cover that flat rate. So what I did is I said, I want 10% of whatever you sell. And some of the vendors gave us 15% of what they sold. They were very happy about it. That, they were able to walk out with some money, period.
This is gonna be a mutual benefit, but we don't know to what degree. So I would ask that you don't charge any local, meaning Dudley vendors, to set up on the town common for this year.
If you're
Do you mean
setting up on,
farmers?
we don't utilize the town common for the Apple Festival.
We will.
We don't.
I'll get
You-
that, I'll get the
if
town to
you
get that. I'll
guys
get the
wanna
town
do
to-
Well,
that-
I think you want to be closer to the building, like, you don't want to be too far away from where people go in and out of the building.
We've used it for the
You
Strawberry
know what I'm
Festival.
saying?
Yeah,
Any
we
other-
kind
you
of
know-
use that whole area.
Yeah, if you
With
go
the
over
black
to the
town
town common,
too.
people are gonna go into the Grange, get their apple crisp or pie or whatever, and they're gonna get in their car and leave. And like that,
Well,
I think you need to be
I don't think
out on,
so.
out on the
I'm
lawn.
not sure that's the case,
I
Paul.
don't think so, because last year we had many vendors out on the common and the place was pretty busy.
And we had a town crier.
You might be right. You might be right, but I don't think
And that
that'll
was
be the
without
case.
advertising. though.
If any of our vendors bring domesticated animals in, if you bring any calves that you've got,
It'll attract
And
attention.
so is the Black Tavern having a crop fair the same weekend?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so that's.
yeah, that-
oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, right.
They do, yes.
It's a
All right.
big, yeah,
We
we,
work together on it.
we
big now.
want to get together with them shortly so that we can kind of get on, get some ideas
Okay,
put
I
together.
didn't know that was happening.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Alright,
the
that's-
tavern we've been partnering for many years, so
Okay.
we have the same, they're doing
Good.
vendors on
Yeah.
one side of the street, we're doing vendors on the other side. The issue for us is that it would, and I understand exactly, completely what you're saying, but we'd have to be separate, because we do charge our vendors. I mean, this is how, we build up our fund. We have to, support our building, repairs, heating, and, we need a new furnace and whatever. So I think that I agree with you, in terms of what you're suggesting, but I don't think that you could be like a part of us. You'd have to be like a separate, because I can't see that our vendors would be thrilled to know that they're paying for a patch of grass and these folks over here aren't. That could, start some tension.
One
But-
work on that would be the situation, if everybody on the common is under the auspices of the commission.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
the commission, being a town function, has the right, and
Yeah.
it's their property.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
And that splits it, and nobody can bitch about
But
it.
we do it
But nobody-
together.
but everybody
we-
can
but
go there
we-
and not know any difference
Right,
at
we
all.
collaborate,
That's the
and we're,
public.
it's like the tavern, I mean, we don't set anything up across the
Right.
street. And we work together with each other because we provide the food for their vendors, and plus for the general public that
think
comes to
that's
the
great.
festival. So if you, like he said, I think that would kind of solve that problem, because you'd be a separate entity.
We do some of the nonprofits and so forth, where they come, and we do not charge them a table fee,
Like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
because they're there for the same reason we're there.
Right.
See,
It's
I
to
think,
raise money
I
for
think
their
we're gonna
organization.
generate more traffic for you, for the Apple Festival. And on the other hand, this agricultural commission, mission is to do what the Grange has done for hundreds of years. So we should be able to work together
Yes, I agree.
and neither at the other's expense.
Right, right, I agree. We should
I
support each
see no
other.
problem in that, really.
Yeah.
Good.
Paul, you had a great idea about the seeds. What if we gave seeds away?
That's what they were talking about, giving the pumpkin plants away and things like that, so
Yeah,
that
but
they
they
can
didn't do
grow.
it this year.
Yeah, so they
Now,
can grow pumpkins.
The
and-
problem I have
Oh,
giving
oh.
somebody something for free, after they have got it, what are they going to do with it? If we have a follow-up of what we give out somehow,
Why don't
Like a
you just
planting
simply-
class in the spring.
Can I answer that one? We did have a follow-up, okay? We gave the plants away to kids.
Yep.
They were to take them home, plant them with the help of their parents, and then this Apple Festival in October, bring back some of the pumpkins and win a prize.
A year later?
That,
No,
no, that's saying
that's
the
like
end of
months
summer.
No,
later.
but- yeah, but we're talking about this Apple Festival.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Yeah,
no.
this
Can't really
apple
do it.
It's- you
festival.
don't wanna give
We
plants
didn't
away at the
find
Apple
it to be,
Fest.
I guess what the point I'm making when we were discussing it earlier is it was popular the first year, and we got, 3 entries, maybe 4.
We had more than that.
No, we had 3 or 4 entries, and that was it.
then what is the popular thing today? Is it dancing? Is it movies? Is it... It's gotta be something. If we can figure out what the
Well, this-
popular thing is, maybe we can buy that ticket and say, here's your free pumpkin. And
Alright.
if you win, you get the free
We'll do better
nights
than
out
that. We'll do
bleedy
better than
boo.
that, all right? If you can come up with 4 different types of seeds that we can give to kids, and we have the parents just register them. Just register them in order to get the seeds. I will donate 4 $50 first prizes for whatever the judges deem to be the number 1 of 4 different vegetables at the following either strawberry or apple festival.
So I'll like all of this, but I think it has to be,
Well,
first step can't be this October, because you'll lose everything over.
no, but the thing
No.
is, Paul's right
It's gonna
there.
be in
We
the
could
spring.
have a table.
Yeah, this
Give
year
a
Have
table,
a
we're gonna
give-
have
You
to,
could.
yeah.
Give the
It
commission
could-
table
Strawberry Festival,
at the
we could
Strawberry
do it.
Festival to
Right.
do it.
You want it, right, but what if you sort of started, a step before that is get a program going in the schools of, getting the school to partnership with this
One of the
project.
elementary school has a garden, right?
We had to
Yeah.
I don't
do,
know anything about it, and I had a student there this year, but I saw it. on
we
the
had to
But I
do it
mean,
for a few
it's,
years.
if
on-
they,
on
if
how
there's,
to-
and then the parents would be, a part of it, other than, going to a function one afternoon and, on the spur of the
So,
moment,
right,
taking,
that's right. They'll
But if it's
receive
at
a notice
school,
home
it's a
at
little
school.
more, a
I like
notice
that.
home from the
Yep.
school, it's a little more
This is what we're gonna
serious. It's not a fly-by, kind of thing.
Right.
And, we're partnering with the school,
We
relative
could offer
to,
a planting class in the spring for all
Wait,
the kids to come to, too.
Another
the
big thing
Grange
for giving the
could
seeds away.
put on, what's that?
I was just gonna say another big thing for giving the seeds away is why don't we give the kids a fact sheet? Why don't we give them how to do it, how
Yeah.
to care for it,
Like
just
a
so there's a
packet
bigger
that comes
interest
with
in
the
it.
seeds,
You
right.
Goes
know?
with it, yeah.
Right, you folks decide what you want to do and how you want to do it. I mean, I can't grow dirt, all right? But I will provide an incentive for the winners, and I'll commit to that now. You just tell me, you guys vernacular, I apologize. you folks figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, and go from there, and then just,
So
you
I
even have to
think,
tell me who the winners, and we'll make out checks to them.
I think that needs to be a separate, I love the idea, of getting the school involved, but I think it starts, you know, we can plan over the winter, start it,
Yeah.
work with the school and get it going in the spring.
Good.
Give the stuff away at the Strawberry Festival, at the Ag
Right.
Commission's table, and then have them bring it back in October.
Okey dokey.
So for now, that's like a separate discussion, but Deb's taking all these notes, so we'll have it all down so we won't forget.
And as far as schools go, now we can say, because it's on camera, we're being taped here, that at our next meeting on September 5th, we hope that we can get it into the big room, and that all of the people who were interested initially, the first meeting at the Grange, will come to that meeting, because we will have John LaFleche, the superintendent of Bay Path Regional Technical Vocational High School. We will have his director of continuing education, and the third person, I'm not sure the title, may be the person who does their nightlife program. So they'll be there to answer questions, and if we've got people there who can ask questions, wouldn't that be nice? You know, so that'll be on September 5th, that is on the agenda, they've committed to it.
Okay, I have a question for you, Paul, on Dudley Farm Days again. You said you don't want it to be like a farmer's market? How do you want it to be
No,
different?
I mean, I don't want it to clarify, I don't want to call it a farmer's market.
Okay,
People have certain expectations of a farmer's market. People have no idea what the hell a Dudley Farm Days. And that's okay, I want that curiosity to bring them in. If it's exactly like a farmer's market, perfect. But I just want to get them there, that's why I suggested the name I did.
No,
That
we'll
also-
definitely make it more than a farmer's market.
Is
You
there a
got
certain age?
some milk cattle in town, with milk administration. We had that done one year. The kids loved it. There's a lot of kids, you ask them, where does milk come from? Where it comes from? Grocery store. They have no idea what the cow does.
one little girl in flip-flops got stepped on. She was okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, they recover quickly, don't
Oh,
they?
I was scared, yeah. It's a big cow. Yeah,
It's an opportunity, you know, to create awareness for the products coming out of the area and to educate. So it's a win-win.
I get a question. What age group are we going after? Are we going after kids of 10 years old or 12 years old? If we are, why don't we get them a bicycle? Free bicycle. Here's your plant, whoever wins the plant in the fall gets this free bicycle. Or,
Any
let's
idea
go
how many
back.
bicycles the Dudley Police Department has?
You know,
Yeah.
you know me come
There you
through
go.
the transfer station?
There you go.
Every-
Yes.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
why
They don't
So
ride
that's
bikes
it's a video.
We might not even have to buy one.
You know, yeah, you
Or
don't
two.
even-
True.
he's trying to
Then,
get away
then
from that.
that's what we do. Then we make the packet bigger and say, you get 3 bicycles, whoever gets the biggest plant. You get 3 bicycles. And now get people to talk. Get them the
They
first
only
time.
need one.
Well, I know that. But let's start giving them something that they're going to talk about.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Wait a second. A kid doesn't know what $50 is, but a kid knows what $1,000 is. Let's be real about the money situation. Money means nothing to these kids because they're not working for the
Oh,
money.
they love money. All kids love money.
But
That's
they do.
changed. Believe me, it's changed.
Yeah, exactly.
They
So
still
what
like it, but
has-
something that has the bells and whistles is always.
Exactly.
It's
You know,
always
it may
nice.
not be a bicycle. It could be a, I don't even know what the new thing is.
I'm not gonna donate 4 cars.
Why not?
Well, I can grow a big pumpkin.
I'm gonna talk to Rob.
Me too, I could grow a really large pumpkin at that point.
Well, I'll tell you something that we do, and we've had a really good time doing, and I haven't seen it done at all in this area, is we pack up Noah and his friends, and we load them into the caravan, and we head wherever it is that is building fairy gardens. And so the children could come and build fairy gardens for the fall. And so what you do is you get all the little, fairy pieces and all those types of things that you would put in the garden, marbles, all different sorts of things that you can do. It's very creative. You get all these little small plants that are grown that would go into, it's perfect for the fall. And they would go into all the little pots, you gotta get the bucket for them, and then they get charged, so they pay a certain amount to come and build this fairy garden, and they get to pick like one fairy, and they get to pick like one of these, and one of each of these plants, and this sort of thing, and this is how we've come across it. And we've paid like $25 for a fairy garden about this big, and you know, you get the soil, all the things that you want to put in, everything's all set up for you, and these children come and they build their own fairy garden, and they pretty much glow afterwards, and they're walking away with their
So that
own
could be a
fairy garden.
table or a,
Yes, it could be
a
a
booth,
table or
yeah.
booth to set up where they could do this fairy garden. And,
Craft stations, essentially.
yeah.
Yeah, like
I like
craft
that.
stations.
Remember,
so we could have some different craft
You've
stations.
got 2 months before the Apple Festival.
Mhm.
2 months. 60 days, 63 days.
Can we have like a planning committee, even though it would be all of us, separate from the Ag Commission? So that
Yes,
we
we
could
need
meet on a
funding, too.
different day
You
to
can do
do
whatever
actual
you want.
specific planning.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think we need to.
Right.
Because
So it doesn't
if
have
you're
to
gonna
take
have
a
people come
meeting time.
as a vendor to these, you've gotta talk to them now.
Right. We need to brainstorm and not necessarily during a formal meeting.
But, well, you gotta find out like who in town
We'll come.
will come and who's available to come, you know, like.
And fairy themes draw children. And
If
the
you
children
have an
draw
idea of what you
parents, so-
want to say, to get out, you need to write it down, give it to me, and I will announce it at the selectmen's meeting.
Okay. So can we all agree that we'll pick a day at the end of the meeting to meet separately, just to plan just our part of Farm Days? If that's okay with you guys, and then we can say, this is what we're planning, so that you know.
Right,
ahead
it
of
keeps stepping on each other.
time. Right.
Right.
Do you want to have one person from the Grange be part of that planning committee so that there is coordination?
Sure.
Yeah?
I don't know if Jennifer counts or Bruce counts, or
Yep, we all count, Noah
there's
counts,
dual
Okay.
serving,
Karen.
Yeah, Jen and I could.
just so that we all know what's going on all the time.
Yeah, Noah likes it too. He's good with the younger generation.
Okay, so is there any more discussion on the Farm Days collaboration with Apple Fest at this time?
I don't know. I guess we have to see how it all comes together at this point.
Good.
Okay.
Should be exciting.
It'll be
This year
good to
will
work
obviously
together.
be different than
Yes.
next.
Same.
It should.
Dale,
One thing
real
we
good
need
to work
do-
together. Good group here.
Good big splash in advertisement for it.
Yes.
I mean, all the way around.
And pray for good weather.
That's so big, yeah.
Yeah,
We
we
have a
got kind of a
publicity
bum
person.
deal on Strawberry Festival Day.
Could have been worse though.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know, it has been worse, though.
That's in 67 years. That's only the second time. I have gone through probably a dozen and a half thunderstorms that showed up at 8 o'clock while we were breaking down, but it didn't rain during the festival.
It wasn't too bad.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. Let's go to the mission statement discussion and vote. Linda, do you want to lead this discussion, please?
Sure. I did a really deep packet of information on mission statements for all of the towns in Massachusetts that had either an ag commission or a right to farm. And there were quite a few of them. And believe it or not, you wouldn't think there would be that many like towards the South Shore and North Shore, but there's actually a few, not many, but what I found, a lot of them they took the mission statement that was on the Mass State page and pretty much used that in quite a few of them because the same message was like throughout a lot of them. And another thing too is with the mission statements, as I was going through some of their websites, it seems like some of their committees, they started them up and then they just died. Because the last posting on some of them was like 2015. There was one that was 2009. You know, so one thing I think we want to try to do is to keep it going and just not all of a sudden just go, boom, that's it. Some of them did have some cute little extra things that they had on their sites. Like one of them had this really nice brochure of like the farms that were in the town and like the days, the Apple Festival. They had like something else that was similar to that. And they had the brochure and it showed each one of them. And I did a packet for the members and I highlighted it on them exactly, you know, if there was something that popped out that stood out differently. And there were only a few of them, but I mean, I didn't come right out to write one because I know you did one, a mission statement. And
Well, how did the one that she wrote compare to the general one that you found was pretty much the same?
that one was more in depth.
This one
than-
here.
The one that Jen wrote was a lot more in depth than the others. Like I said, it was basically a cut and paste from the Mass
Yeah.
State
When
one.
you write a bylaw, it's the same thing. You go to
Yeah.
every time, and they're all
Yep,
they're all pretty much the
pretty
same.
much the same.
There's just a few, like the right to farm bylaw that we
Yeah.
wrote is probably the same as 50 other ones in town in Massachusetts. You know, you change a few words here and there, but that's, you know,
And there were-
they all do it. That's just the way it is.
And there were quite a few of them too that didn't have a mission statement. All they had was just like, this is what the Ag Commission does, and that's it. You know, not a full presented
There wasn't
mission
really any
statement.
heart behind
There
it.
was no
No.
vision for what
The
they were.
vision,
No.
right, exactly.
And some of them didn't have anything at all. It just had the person's name and when their term expired, and that was it. Nothing about their meetings. It was just to take up space, I think, on their town's website for some of
Interesting.
them. So it was pretty interesting
I
going through
appreciate
them
you
all.
did all of that,
Oh my gosh, yes.
honestly.
When I pulled it up and it was 31 pages, I said, okay, I'm not gonna print it all.
She's the one I'm gonna kidnap and bring home.
But the thing, a lot of this is good for our website.
Yeah.
So which this board at some point really
Yeah,
should think
well,
about.
that's why I had highlighted some of the things that they had done, you know, on others that we could incorporate on ours when we actually get it up and running and looking the way that we want it to, versus just like the other ones that say, Ag Commission, here are 4 people with open seats, anybody interested, apply. And that's all that is on their site, you know?
Right.
One thing I had too is, I've got an issue with something going with a plant that's growing on my property, and I'm trying to get rid of it. What if we have like a section on there too that's like Ask a Farmer?
That's a
For
great idea.
anybody
Yeah.
out there, you know,
That
that,
knows how to get rid
Add
of
a form
something,
section
or
for
change
questions.
something or do
yeah,
something.
and then one of us, if we know how, on the commission can answer them, you know, it,
Even if we made a point of every month saying, okay, this is what came up.
Yep.
And look, you know, and put our
Yeah.
heads together, so
Yeah.
that we at least look at it once a month and
Yeah, it'd be
say,
nice to have articles on like safe pesticides and
Yeah.
those type of things so that people know what to do.
yeah, because right now I've got a problem with some milkweed.
Yeah,
And, you know, I'm trying to find something that isn't going to destroy everything around it. And everybody I ask, the stuff is, you know, it's the herbicide, you know, that wipes out everything.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to do
Right,
that. I
right.
just want to kill the milkweed,
right.
you know, because it's very invasive, just like that vine, you know, if, you know, somebody has, even if like it's a home remedy thing,
yeah.
you know, like some of them do dish soap and ammonia for bugs and stuff. And
Victor gave me an article about a guy that's growing milkweed, he's farming it. I don't have it with
Where's
me.
phone number?
Well, you know,
I-
butterfly
Oh, butterflies love it.
Yeah,
Butterfly
they do.
lovers.
Well, see,
love
Yeah, they
milkweed.
eat it, yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing right now, is
Right.
they're trying to save
Population's
the monarch
decreasing
butterflies.
because
And that's what
milkweed
feeds off the
availability
milkweed, so they
is
don't want you to
decreasing.
destroy the milkweed.
Right,
and
right.
It kind
But
of goes along like
can you put it to another section a bit, you
yeah,
know, and
where it's not going to spread anywhere
Right, because
else.
you
Well,
want
you
your
know what?
butterflies, because of course
Yeah.
the butterflies eat your bugs and.
You've got a couple of options, I think. One is, I would imagine that Stockbridge, the School of Agriculture, or the various agricultural groups statewide, they must have a question and answer brochure or a web page, because we really don't have the manpower right now or the time to do our own
Yep.
separate web page.
Well, I'm sure there's an app out there too that could answer.
There's
Well,
a
like
lot
need
to do.
identification
Right.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
if we
Yeah, yeah.
can get permission to use question and answers that others are already doing publicly, then we just talk to Deb Thibodeau and say, Deb, we'd like to have on our web page on the town website, we'd like to be able to answer questions however often it's
We
done.
could call it WikiGlow.
Yeah, once a month or once every 3 months, and just have her plug that in.
Yeah.
So,
And
and you said before, and we've all said it at one time or another, we need to crawl before we walk.
Yeah.
You know, and right now, you got enough on your plate just to put a planning board together, to begin to decide what things you can and want to do and don't want to do.
yeah.
So I would suggest that, you
And
know.
like, when I was doing the mission statement info, as I was going through it, I didn't see anything on any of their sites that had something like that. Where like the normal resident might say, well, I've got a bunch of dandelions growing, what kind of, you know, home remedy or old farmer's thing can I use to get rid of dandelions in my
Right.
yard, you know, instead
Right.
of using insecticides and all that stuff.
And we'd be able to draw people from other towns that might get their agricultural commissions
Yeah.
going more too, if we offer this type of information.
Yeah, and I mean, even the ones that you would think, like out in the western part of the state, you would think that they would have a lot more in-depth on their sites,
And they
but
don't.
really they don't. And that's in like the big
Interesting.
farming communities out towards like Amherst and out that way.
And maybe they don't need
And-
to, I don't know, you know.
It's just not
I don't
enough
know.
time. Or
That's
either
another
that or
thing,
you gotta
too.
hire somebody and pay somebody to do it.
Steal what you can first.
Well, that's why I kinda did what I did with
Like we could have a newsletter.
yeah. With what I had highlighted and stuff, and it was interesting.
There's a lot of
So
information on the
we gotta
internet.
just table the one that
So-
she wrote, because I thought it was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, or not table it, but just vote to accept it. Is that,
I'll make a motion to accept the mission statement that was written. I think it's pretty good.
You want me to read it? So everybody can listen?
Sure.
Right. The Dudley Agricultural Commission was formed in 2019 with an objective to serve, promote, and enhance agriculture, support farmers and their land, and to offer community education about agriculture while providing a platform for participation as a community. We wish to take the opportunity to grow in the hemp farming industry while maintaining local food and livestock farming that serves our community and beyond. We are a liaison between farmers, residents, and town officials, so we can build a strong foundation in our community for rapid growth. Our mission is to bring economic opportunities, agricultural growth, business, industry, education, and preservation, all while keeping our traditional values and bringing new traditions that support a strong, healthy, and harmonic community. We're working to provide programs and resources in a fun and innovative way that will also be a great template for other towns.
Excellent.
So my only reservation is to specifically pull out hemp.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah,
I
you wanna
would
pull out
do.
hemp, yeah.
I just think naming hemp as the only industry that we really name is sort of,
I would not
Tagging
include
us.
that.
You could also put it after food, because it comes before we talk about growing food, so that's a little,
I would leave it out for
I
now.
would leave it out too.
I just think take out the word hemp.
Because there's still a lot of people that don't understand what hemp is.
Well,
Right.
and, you know.
And it's not what many
bankers and
people think it is.
It
insurance
can always
and-
be added later
Yes.
if we need to, so I'll rewrite
Exactly.
it. I'm sure that there's something else I can reorganize in there too, and
Well,
Submit
don't
it
want to
again.
put something that can
No,
easily
I-
be
no,
approved the
that-
way
I
it's
would
written.
just take out the word hemp.
take out the word hemp, well, it might have
Just
to.
strike it.
Yeah.
So it would
So-
say, we wish to take the opportunity to grow in the farming industry while maintaining local food and livestock farming. So
Okay,
we wish
That's true.
to
Just take it out,
take the
okay.
opportunity to grow in the farming industry
oh,
or agricultural industry.
And that covers like almost everything.
Right.
we
Because I
don't,
really don't
and
know.
we don't necessarily
you know,
have to
hemp on
advertise
a
hemp anyways,
small
we can still
scale.
have it without advertising
Right,
it that way.
exactly.
People will know if they're gonna know.
Exactly.
What I would do is to accept a motion, to accept as the mission statement what you just read on camera, and to have that submitted to Deb Thibodeau, who maintains the town website, have that submitted for inclusion as the mission statement for the Agricultural Commission on the town website. That would be a great motion. Get done with it.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
So
second it.
exactly as
As
printed,
just-
except
Except
strike
for
out
the-
hemp.
Right.
Except for that word,
Yeah.
yep.
Can we add kids? Can we add kids to it too?
That's not it.
To age 4? It says,
This is it.
Education.
They're
So we're educating
education
everybody.
community, that is about the children.
okay.
Yeah, it's all about them.
Any other discussion?
Do you have a second? Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
Paul made the
I
motion.
Who seconded?
I second.
Deb?
Is there any other discussion?
The only other thing that I saw on some of the websites was about the ag commission being like a liaison for different boards in the towns to settle disputes.
So they
That's-
could
I
call,
don't
they could
know.
call on them, but that doesn't.
But that's in the
need
right
be
to
part of the
farm
mission.
bylaw also.
Yeah, but a couple
And
of
it
them put
kinda
it in
does
their
say
mission
that in here.
statement too, so.
Yeah.
Kind of does say about being a liaison.
Well, we have this for now. We can change.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
we can always change this because maybe our mission might change and
Oh, sure,
so
sure.
That's a good broad start.
Yeah.
I think so.
it is. It leaves it open for us to really begin some new ideas.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So
Declare the vote is
motion-
unanimous.
Unanimous vote, and motion carries.
At least it's something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Jennifer.
A beginning.
And
Nicely
Linda
done,
for all your work.
everybody. Nicely done.
Goals and logo discussion.
Very good.
Goals and
Logo discussion.
logo discussion.
I sent you a couple.
Did you? I have been in Brazil. I'm so sorry.
I sent them today,
You sent them today?
this afternoon.
Thank you for that, Linda. So I'll have an opportunity to look them over. Yeah, Linda is very creative with the computer, so we gave her some, Noah and I were talking about some ideas at the end of the last meeting about how to, bring some different certain photos in. We thought strawberries would be really important because strawberries are such a big thing for Dudley when June comes. And some other plants, gardens, and maybe we thought to surround the logo with a hemp rope, which a rope is a rope. So we thought that might look nice. And
And that's what I did on one of them.
did you? Nice.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go into my email to see if I can pull it up.
Wasn't Dudley big in the production of hemp rope at
There
one
you
point in
are.
time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in Massachusetts as a state.
As a state
was
was.
huge, the United States.
Used to be the law to grow hemp. If you owned the land for it, it was the law.
Okay, so in that it is showing like this. So there's this one. That's cute with the farm. Here's one with the flowers. You sent me two.
I
What did you
sent
send
you
through?
it on the document itself. There's that, and I also did a template for a Word doc for a letterhead. That's on
okay.
there too.
Great.
Yeah, see, it's not showing up on here because I sent it from my regular computer.
Can I open it on Word?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you should be able to. One of them has the graphics that I did, and you'll see like a little barn on one of them.
So we're gonna pass Jen's phone around.
That's all, I printed them off, but they're on my printer at
All
home.
right, so this is the one. With, the rope all tied around.
Oh,
with
yeah.
that. That's neat.
And I can change whatever pictures you want on it if you want to go with something like that.
Do I see strawberries there? I
Those
see
are
some
tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Okay.
Tomatoes, but I
So
can
we
put in
definitely need
strawberries.
strawberries. That's important. Love the rainbow. Rainbow's a really good
Yeah, that was
idea.
from your farm, from the town
Mine, yeah.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like
So
yours.
that's a really good idea. This is cute too. That one's cute. With some of the corn growing and some of the veggies.
That's like the letterhead.
Yeah, that
that's
would be
like
on the letterhead.
yeah.
But you could use it any other way too.
Can I pass
I mean, I
this?
could-
Yes, absolutely. Maybe blow it up. You can move the screen around so that you can really look at the picture. If you need to blow it up or shrink it, you can.
That's nice, I like that.
Mhm.
And then on the letterhead, I also have like that logo at the top, and at the bottom, I have like right to farm in the bottom with the town's, address and the
That is
generic telephone
perfect.
number.
Right to farm should really be,
It's on,
Advertised.
yeah, it's on
yeah, I
there.
like that.
It is kind of.
I like that
And I
idea.
have the names of the people that are, the chairman and the committee on the top.
For a letter.
Looks really nice.
Cool, isn't it?
Oh, nice.
Paul.
And I did that all with a
You
computer.
can't see it
Pass
all,
to
Paul?
Karen. Do you wanna see it, Karen?
Go ahead. Thank you.
Maybe your wife can pull, or you can pull it up on your computer at home and you
I'm
can-
sure she can.
and you can see it better. You can see out of one eye a little bit?
Looks nice.
Yeah, but it's awkward.
Yeah.
Everybody sees the left side of something.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like that.
It looks
Put some
nice.
veggies in the front, and then on the bottom is the top part of the header for the Agricultural Commission. Something like that, something simple,
Yeah, no, I like that.
you know.
Very good.
So do we wanna vote on those? Or can we, are you willing to
You can use them if you
donate
want.
those?
Yep.
Yeah, we
If
gotta
you want
fiddle a little bit.
changes,
We have to put, we
some
definitely have to put
strawberries.
strawberries in, that's really
Yeah, I
important.
can put those underneath the cows.
I think
Because
we
I
should
was
put-
trying to figure out
we
what
should
can
put
I stick
apples
down
and
there.
strawberries, because apples are a very New England thing. And we have a lot of apple orchards around.
Mhm.
Do we like one style as a group? Do you like one, with the rope and the rope around the edges for the border? Or do you like the right-hand one as a style? Because then maybe Linda
Yeah,
can go
because then
back
I
and.
can
Yeah,
do
you could always
something
put a rope
else.
around one too.
Yeah.
So,
Dollar-wise?
bring
what
some
is
cows
the-
in too,
What is the, what'd you say?
mix those cows.
Yeah, okay, what is the largest income producer we have agriculturally or animal husbandry? What's the largest producer we have right now? Not who, but what?
In
terms
town?
of- In terms of dollar value.
For animals?
Animals or food?
Or restaurants.
Farm,
Or
whichever.
animals are food?
What do you
we
think
know?
it is?
I don't know.
I don't
Within
know.
within the state, I would guess it's apples.
Nope,
No, in
No,
in
Dudley.
No, within
Dudley.
Dudley.
Alright.
and let me tell you why.
In Dudley.
When you do, the Apple Festival is fairly new, but strawberries are the past. Hemp is the past for the state, but maybe the future for Dudley. Apples are current. What's current and what do we want to show is looking forward to the future. All right, is it beef? Is it grass-fed beef? Is it corn?
I don't think it's
Well, that's on
anything, there's
there.
nothing specific, we'll take anybody.
Right,
Yeah, I
exactly.
like the
So the
idea
pictures-
of, I like the idea
So
of
that
the
has a
cows,
little bit of-
because, right,
of
because that
everything
was
in
right
it.
here with the
Yeah.
rainbow, so that's a great,
That's
more
that
acreage
and
of
that
corn.
one over there.
yeah, so that's great.
Is an agricultural
The
product.
circle one, I just
Yeah.
pulled that together in like 10 minutes. I just pulled some pictures that I had from by my house.
I'd like to
And
see
there's
you.
also like hay on the bottom, a piece
Yeah.
of Timothy
Mhm.
sticking up,
Yeah.
and then I got corn and,
I'd like to
I put
see you take
cucumbers
that
on
cow
here.
picture with the rainbow.
Yep.
And make it so that you can see the whole rainbow in the picture. I think that would be really great. I think the pumpkins should stay.
but the thing is, if you do that, it's like too much picture on one side. It throws the
The rest of it off.
yeah, because I tried that to keep the whole thing, and it just looked really odd, because I'm doing a collage type of picture versus here's this one, here's that one, here's that one. And it just looked totally off-center.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What about if you put it in the center and you built around it?
I could try something like that.
Try that. Put it in the center, build around it, get some strawberries, apples, keep the pumpkins, the sunflower looks great,
Kiss.
and the tomatoes.
Keep it
Kiss.
simple.
Yeah,
Yes.
keep it simple. But those things would be great.
Don't try to be too much and you'll end up
Yeah.
looking like something that was developed by a committee.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I didn't want to put too much more on
Right.
that, that's why I blew up like the tomatoes to make it take up a bigger corner.
Mhm.
And, a couple of small things here and there.
Well,
and
you
there.
could take out the upper left. I
What's
would
there?
keep a sunflower.
Is it an eggplant? what is
looks
it?
more
What
like a
is- yeah.
sunshine coming through it.
Well, yeah, up at the very top of that, that's a sunshine, that was,
Yeah.
Oh, I get it,
reflecting off
yeah,
of
I can
the-
see the trees now.
So if we
All I
could-
can see was purple.
So we could kind of, shrink it down that way, but I do think that the cows right in the middle with the rainbow is a beautiful center picture.
Dark
Yep.
picture.
Perfect. And then you can arrange around it. But I do think it's important. Strawberries are definitely an
Yeah.
important thing because of the crowd that we draw.
Remember, in American culture, we read from left to right,
mm-hmm,
past to future.
Mm-hmm.
In the Arab countries, it's the opposite. We're not there. So you want to have the past to the left
yeah.
and take people across to the future.
It's sort of a collage,
Yeah.
though, it's just like a
So we have the
representation.
past, the pasture.
Okay, you.
So in that first one, does everybody like the rope versus the oval?
Do you like the square or the
I think
oval? That's a good question.
Sure.
Do you want to see them again?
Do you
So
have
but
to
we can
decide
pick out
tonight?
different, no, but we can pick out different elements that we'd like to
Understand.
tell Linda.
Blow up
Okay.
the
Mhm.
rope
Good.
Well,
down
it's
at
just
the
that you can see
bottom,
more.
in the knot,
There's
in
more
the knot.
variety in that, in the view on the left.
Yeah.
You can put more in it.
And I like
Just-
that you have the right, I like the right to farm community.
Yes.
Right.
And I
Yes.
like that font.
I do too, yeah.
The oval is also attractive. The rope is nice. The rope could go around either.
Yeah,
I guess
look
the
at
rectangular
around-
one, I think, is the better choice.
It's one of the things I like about this group.
You know,
is
I haven't
keep
fiddled around with the
change of
logos
ideas.
yet either, and I know I should. I have quite a few photos around Dudley that are really nice that could go on
Me
there as
too.
well.
Paul, do you have any specific, don't like?
I like the whole thing, I don't know, maybe it may be a little bit busy,
Right.
Mhm.
Maybe
Well,
a
I
few
just-
less pictures.
I just
Yeah.
threw
Collage
stuff
even, yeah.
out there,
But-
but.
going, I went down and did, I think it's next on the agenda about the,
Mhm. The right to farm stuff.
right. I went down to the Graphics Unlimited to see about signs. And like a 2x3 sign, it's like a plastic composite material. The guy said it'll last like 20 years. And, to put something like that on it, with the graphics on it,
Yeah.
would be like $192
For one.
for one.
Now, is this 2 foot by 3 foot?
Right.
And it's made up of what material?
It's like a plastic, I wrote it down, but I can't seem to find it. I don't know
It's
what.
like the vinyl banner stuff.
It's like it's a plastic composite material, they call it.
And what's the intended use of it?
To put up on a post outside it'd say, either welcome to Dudley, a right to farm community.
Where we're driving into town.
In
Right.
places that
Yeah.
are in to drive into town.
Yeah.
See, like if you go put one down across the French River, there's 2 signs with the Little League things
Yeah.
there. We could
Yeah.
add that right to those
Yeah.
posts.
Right.
Well, Little League and the girls
Is that what
softball.
size?
Right.
Is that what size those are?
I didn't know. They're different. Those are different.
Probably
Be a little bit
close
bigger.
to 2, 20 by probably 3 foot. Could I suggest that you also go to the Biz store in Tinsley Square? He just came before us, Arvind Basil. He just came before us at Monday night's selectmen's meeting. And one of the things he said was that his prices will be competitive, and if it's for the town or a town group or committee, that the prices will be more than
All right, I'll
competitive.
go down and check it out, because I've done business with the other guy over there, and he's really
Yeah,
good.
and I've gotten door signs for my trucks, but,
Yeah,
you know.
so I'll stop in and check with him about that, so.
Have we got a
And-
budget?
No, well, I'm thinking,
Yeah, no, we don't.
I talked about maybe
we don't
writing
have
a
that.
warrant article, but I don't ever see that passing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that maybe the land trust could write a Mauser grant next spring, and maybe I could get it through that.
You know,
There's
the other
also,
thing-
the Norcross Foundation and the Fields Ponds Foundation. They also give grants for signage also. So I can check into those 2 organizations, see if I could get
have
a
suggestion,
grant.
too. What about Bay Path?
Well, I don't
Make-
know.
When they
Making
start
them?
up,
Yeah,
well,
Bay
they've got
Path.
graphic
They have a
arts.
graphic
That's right.
art,
They
yeah.
can do the graphic art
Yeah.
sign, or if you want something carved in like wood, like cabinet making or something like that, they could do up like a really nice wooden sign.
Yeah, but you need 4 of them at least, so that would,
Yeah, but I
that's
mean.
a lot.
The point is,
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunities, like.
But I think you
let's
need
look
to
at
get people that come into town
comparison.
To see
and
it.
see
Yeah.
that this is, you know, there may be an
They have to be
opportunity.
eye-catching.
There might be an opportunity in Dudley. And if they don't see that, then they're just gonna just drive right through.
Right.
Let's welcome them, even the chicken farmers.
So let me see if I can find out if I can get a grant for
And
this.
color is key and easy to read is most important.
So think about that in the logo too. If this is something you're gonna put on one of those signs, it's gotta be something people are gonna see.
That'll be linked to
As
it.
they're
even
driving
the-
fairly quickly past.
Right, well.
Even the letterhead one
Yeah.
would work instead of
Mhm.
pictures, you know, on the signs. You think about like the,
But color's important.
right,
And then, and have a
Like the
smaller
green
sign,
plants on
instead
there.
of having all the,
maybe, but I
So-
think to,
Don't rule out, don't rule out 2 normal traffic signs like speed limit signs on the same post. Don't rule out 2.
Mhm.
If you end up with 2 messages that you clearly want to separate, and you want them to be the focal, then do it top to bottom and come up with 2 signs.
Okay.
And that we may be able to get through the highway department, if you can't get it through a grant, Paul.
oh, okay.
That would be great.
Yeah, like I was just gonna say, we do the logo, you put the logo in the middle, you put welcome to Dudley across the top, and then you put the right to farm at the bottom, because like said, left to right, top to bottom.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm trying to think about some of the other signs that you see, like Rutland has them, you know. Who else has them? It says, this is a right to farm
Exactly.
community.
Yeah, let's start
If
noticing.
that sign
other
brings one
signs
person
around towns.
into town for an agricultural purpose, it's worth it, you know?
And one person could bring 5 people.
Or
It'd
exactly.
be nice too if we could somehow, at least eventually, have one that would be on the back side of it that would say, thank you for visiting Dudley, a right to farm community,
Yeah.
something like that,
The
you know.
reason why that can't be done.
But you would need at least 4 for here, Quinnebog, coming in from Oxford.
Yeah, and then coming in from Connecticut the other way.
Not
Oh,
so.
Like
Schofield Ave.
Schofield Ave, yeah.
And then one on 31 maybe, I don't know. So that's actually, it's 5.
Yeah, so it's more like 5, yeah.
Let me see if I can get a grant and see how long it'll take, all right?
Yeah. We'll keep working on the logo and.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then, yeah,
give me ideas.
yeah,
I can
and then
put
we
it
could
together.
either use that logo, or you could just do the whatever, the words, whatever.
Yep.
However, what everybody wants is fine, I don't care. Okay?
Well, I think on, like on the Rutland, at least one I can think of, they have some kind of graphic.
Yeah, right.
But it's not
exactly.
necessarily like an in-depth.
Yeah, well, a graphic
Pictures
usually
don't look
catches
like that.
someone's eyes than just
Right.
words, because people.
Oh, yeah, no, I would have
don't
some
have
kind
time
of
to read that.
picture. That's why I thought.
Pretty
even the-
colors
even
catch
the-
their eyes, and
the
then
barn
if they
with the
can read the
fence, yeah.
words quickly, that's the trick. You know,
Right.
not
It's
too many
actually
words.
corn stalks.
Yeah, which we don't have a lot of corn in town anymore.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of corn.
We have
That
a
would be
little
more
bit.
Connecticut-ish,
Some.
so, a little bit.
So it depends on how much noise you want in an image. You have too many things on one thing, there's gonna be too much attention drawn to the logo
Yeah, I
versus
say
what's written.
Strawberries, apples, pumpkins.
Yeah, I'll move things around.
Strawberries, apples, pumpkins, the cows with the rainbow. Maybe a flower, a sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And those are all really nice colors.
Yeah.
You got your orange, your red, you know, your greens, all of the colors there.
Well, the center graphic, that was just like all kinds of vegetables, because I wanted something, because there's actually like this hole underneath there.
That's not a
for
bad
the way
idea
the
to
other
keep that,
pictures
yeah, the
were.
tomato with the other veggies, so there's
Yeah.
your vegetables, period, right there, yeah.
So I was
I
just
like it.
looking for something to fill in that spot when I was doing it.
But you gotta remember, tomatoes are fruit.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. So, yeah,
Okay.
So
I'll
what
do
if
up
you
some
what if
more.
you did all your fruits, and then as you're transitioning into the vegetables, you have tomatoes at the end? Let's say you put all your fruits and vegetables down the bottom of the logo, show a farm in the background, and put it at the bottom, right above the rope or something like that. You do all your fruits first, and then as you're transitioning into vegetables, you put more vegetable-based fruits, maybe a squash, a tomato.
Does
I
the
don't think we
Grange,
do.
does the
No.
Grange have a logo?
yes.
Yes,
What is it?
you have one?
I'm sure that I do.
It's the Grange logo, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like the
just tell-
National
just tell
Grange?
me.
It's the National Grange logo,
I-
yeah.
Oh, you can't
It's
see
like,
it.
it's got the wheat, in the center,
And it's blue and gold.
yeah, it's blue and gold, this is
Did
on
you
a
say
blue book,
wheat?
but,
Wheat.
Yeah, it's like
a
a-
national Grange.
It's,
logo.
well,
Yeah.
wheat is the staff of life.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
coming, it's in the center with a wrap around
Okay,
it.
because I don't know as I've ever seen that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
on
trying
that
to think.
agenda line, you guys, we had goals and logo discussion. Do we have goal discussion too, or do you want to table that tonight?
It's getting late.
Yeah.
I need to get going soon. so-
You got,
Okay. Do you have anything else on the right to farm stuff, Paul, or did we cover it?
No, we're all set for now.
So we'll keep working on that.
Yeah.
Does anybody have MDR updates? Were we supposed to get those, or were they, if they came our way?
It was just suggested I put that on the
Yeah,
agenda,
in case there were
in
anything.
case there were any, but I don't think there are.
Victor did not mention anything to me. Did anybody make it to the garden tour?
The Grange was one of the,
One of the
was the
stops?
starting point.
Oh, yeah. So did you go on the tour?
No, I stayed back and managed the goodies.
One of my
And
friends
kept the Grange
went, and she
alive
said there were some
and
really
well.
pretty ones.
And
There
it-
weren't that
and-
many, but they were real pretty.
I think that's a great thing, and that they involve Charlton this time too is a good idea. Any
Yeah.
other discussion on that?
We were happy that they came into our door. It worked out very, very well for us. It got people talking about the Grange, talking about what's, again, what Dudley has got. We've got to start getting people interested in Dudley. We have everything here and more. People need to know.
and then when we have things going on, if we have ready-made flyers for kind of like a yearly schedule, would be nice too, that we have this going, you know, the Strawberry Festival, the Apple Festival, and if these other things start to come in between, we can just, you know, add a yearly schedule so that people can take them with them.
That are posted on the electric sign out here,
Yeah, that
the
too,
electronic sign.
absolutely,
Yeah.
that too, you know.
Coming
Yeah,
this
make
week or
use of
coming
that.
next month.
Yeah, and I do think that we should have a youth growing class. I definitely do. I think that there should be some type of instructor that comes in and teaches the youth how to grow things. If,
Well,
you
not
know,
only
on
youth,
Saturday
but
or-
just regular
Oh,
people
well,
too.
anybody,
Used
but
to
I'm
be
just
that
saying.
Extension used to do all
Yeah.
that.
Right.
I mean, obviously, yeah, we want anybody to come, but, you know, it would be, some people that wanna come and do that, they don't wanna have all the kids, so maybe, you know, we'll kinda offer both.
I think
Well,
we
we've
can
done
make
programs
it
with you
much.
at the Grange.
Yeah.
They all worked out
Dudley
pretty
Dirt
well.
Day.
We need to do that more often.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Well, and maybe the Ag Commission can be, you know, the, making sure we get the collaboration point, or whatever the word is, I don't know.
You know, I almost forgot to mention, but back when I used to go to school, you know, Dudley Elementary, things advertised on a piece of paper that you give to every single individual kid, depending on if you wanted to do something like that, or the school took an interest in copying flyers and giving them to each kid. If so-and-so, my friend over there is going there, I automatically took an interest because my friend was going there. So if you did that, they bring these flyers home to the parents, and now their friends are interested in going, and so they want to go
So
because...
they make a plan.
Exactly. That
And
was
this
how
is why I
things
was
went in school,
suggesting
went
partnering
on in
with
school
the
when I went to
schools
school.
to go through the
Yeah.
school to get,
Absolutely.
get the interest.
Yeah.
'Cause then you bring the parents on board too.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah. And the
So we'll
children are
put
really
that-
involved
Put
in,
that in
Mhm.
in,
future planning.
wanting to do it.
And like the nightlife thing too, because there's a lot of older people that are now leaving their careers and they want to start doing stuff.
That's right.
You know, they want to totally change everything what they're doing.
What's
Yeah, I've thought about bringing an open mic night.
I'm old too.
I've thought about bringing an open mic night
No, but I
to
mean
the
older than
Grange.
10.
Because then people could come and read their poetry or sing a song or something like this, but, you know, it's something that we would have to either, you know, a group would have to get together and invest in like a PA system or something like this, but it would be nice because the Grange does have the second floor with the stage, and, you know, we'd like the hall to get utilized for some community events.
You gotta have to make it handicapped
Right,
accessible.
right.
That's
Yeah.
one of the things that we've been talking about, so that's,
That's
you
a-
know,
that's
that
a
would sure be
huge-
nice.
Yeah.
Huge
If we could get a
undertaking
grant
for
for
us.
that, you know.
Unless-
We need to
Unless
furnish-
you've got the Grange building completely and do a lot of restructuring, it cannot be made handicap accessible. You can do the exterior doors, but you can't do the bathrooms.
Yep.
You can't do the bathrooms, you're not handicap accessible.
Well, no, not true.
We could at least widen one of the doors. to the
Gaining
bathroom,
access to the building makes it handicapped accessible.
That's right.
Access to the building, other than changing one door.
Well, again, we did talk about it
Yeah,
at our
That's really a
July
key.
meeting. We need to discuss it some more and look at look more into it and see if
Yeah.
it's something feasible.
can either
'cause it
talk
put
would-
to
an
Nelson,
elevator or a
talk to Nelson
catapult.
Burlingame. He'll get you.
Catapult would be fun.
What the s-
Good,
what-
good
Like a game at
contract.
the same
You wanna
time.
go on the second floor?
well, the other piece of it is,
See this rope?
Is there any
40.
other public input or new business that needs to be? come before
There's
the
some
Sorry,
place
no.
that might have a few acres of field that you could start a community garden in,
Yeah, we've been talking about that too.
so they can actually start the growing season, go through the growing season, and harvest what they grew.
Yeah, we've been
Okay,
talking
we tried, we
There's a lot
talked
of
about
inner
that,
city.
and we
Yeah.
tried that, but the
We did
problem with
talk
that
about
was, we were gonna do an Audubon property down on Marsh Road, but we couldn't get insurance. Insurance companies will not insure community gardens. For some reason, I don't know what it is.
How do some of them
Yeah,
happen?
how do they?
Does the town,
Because I've seen a
the
lot
town
of them.
cover it?
I don't know how, it must
Vernon-
be, yeah, a lot of it's on
Vernon
town
can-
property, so it probably comes under the town liability insurance.
What would you need for insurance?
Liability.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
That would probably be your,
Liability, what kind of liability?
Product
in case
liability.
someone was injured on the property while farming,
Accident liability?
accident, yeah.
Product liability.
well, it's their own garden though, unless they
But you're
take from
still
somebody
using
else.
somebody else's land.
Well,
Which
I mean,
then
say
goes
you did
back
on
to
town land,
another
we got all
right,
that land
issue.
over on
Right.
Lyons Road. And we now have a right of way to it. But if it's access liability or on the site liability, somebody falls down in a hole, the town does have insurance, we could check whether or not, what it would cost, I don't think it would cost anything
There,
additional.
a couple of years ago, there was some changes in the insurance law and so forth.
Yeah,
And they cannot say, oh, we don't insure liability on cards. They have to give you a detailed explanation of why.
This
Okay?
was a
And then-
while, this was
and they don't want to do that because then you can pick it apart.
this was a while ago, this was about 10 years ago.
It could also be part of the contract if you're going to be growing a garden there, that, maybe you sign a waiver and take responsibility
Yeah.
for
Anybody,
yourself.
anybody
remember
signs
that a
a waiver, they'll
waiver-
walk through it if they need to.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Well, I know, but still, it's nice
Waivers-
to have it there.
no one can
Agreement.
waive their constitutional right
Right.
to safety. So a waiver is just a deterrent to a lawsuit, not a guarantee of.
Right.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
because if
course.
somebody breaks
Right.
their leg in a hole, they're not gonna care about that waiver.
Right.
They're going after you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gonna have to
So
be
maybe
a
a
very
community garden
responsible,
should be a project we work on over the winter time.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's
Spring.
something we could look into.
I think it'd be very popular.
It would be good to
Yeah.
go around to some of these other community gardens and see how they're doing it.
Exactly.
Because I've
And
seen,
the logistics.
I actually, in my phone somewhere, I have a picture of a community garden rules. That's on it's big too, it's a big sign on their fence, and it was all the community garden rules.
We need to come up with a course with John LaFleche about raised bed gardening. Because there's a number of seniors that would have difficulty with flat ground bed.
Mhm.
And a raised bed does deter some animals. So,
Not in our garden.
what's that?
Not in
yours?
our garden.
The fence
But I mean-
around our raised beds.
No, not
There's a
that either.
plethora
They dig
of
under.
ideas we come up with to give to John and bounce off them, and
Yeah.
see how we can do it.
Yeah,
And at the next meeting, John Breyer will be back with us too, and has lots of things to discuss.
Great.
The website,
Yeah.
whatever his other ideas were.
And that is on September,
September 5th,
got it.
7 p.m.
7:00.
And we'll try to put something together between now and then to do some pre-planning for the Dudley Farm Days, if that works for everybody.
yes,
I'll let
we have a
Victor try
Dudley
to-
Grange meeting the second Tuesday of this month.
Thank you for welcoming us in
The
to the
13th.
Apple Festival.
August
Thank you for joining us.
13th,
We're,
we
uh,
have a Dudley
we're
Grange
all,
meeting, yes.
you know,
That's
we're all
usually our
like-minded.
mystery
We're all
night, when
We
we
are.
take a mystery
There's a
ride,
and
few
we're
of
all
us.
Okay.
Dudley.
so.
So
A
do
few
you
of
want
us
to
that
try
want
to?
I was
set-
flipping, I just want to make one
Yeah.
comment before we leave here. I was flipping through the stations, and we think like, we're the only ones talking about agriculture and how to promote agriculture. I was watching through one of those travel channels there, and they were in Rotterdam, And they're doing the same thing in Rotterdam, how to promote agriculture in their city and that kind of stuff. So what they went and did is they went and built this barn out over the ocean. You had to see it to believe it. And they were milking cows in this barn. And so that like everybody could see how, you know, they were processing milk. And they were selling the milk within the town. And the guys and young people were involved. And he says, what our goal is to make farming sexy. To get people interested in farming, you gotta make it sexy.
That's interesting.
Just think about that.
I give it to you to a point, yeah.
On that note, I need a
Motion
motion to
to
adjourn. Second.
That was a good one.
Before we do, I
Second.
wanted to say one more thing.
Oh.
We've got the, we've also got the Woodstock Fair, and it would be a great way for us to promote Dudley as well there.
On top of that, I
if
do
that
music
comes to that.
festivals, advertise
So.
it that way as well.
So,
You know,
anyway,
10,000
now you can
people.
adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.